when, you know, if we do get to that map 4 down the line, I think things are going to get a little bit shaken up in terms of making sure that those ARs are really on point. But here we got McBain starting off for Carleton University, one of the most notables inside of Canada in terms of competing for Call of Duty. He's been at so many TXPs ever since the start. He ends on Brock. You got the veterans of Wonderz, Kooltux, and Records that are looking to really take control here.
Ready for first point. Street being fought over to handle that control of the first point. So we have Wonderz holding down the sight line. Chip keeping control of Street right now, though they're going to be trying to make a fight on 2 point. Kill is going to be coming through for Wonderz already early, as the point will switch over into Carleton's favor.
Yeah, this is some good time early for Brock. Already 24 seconds to boo. It's a quick, you know, back and forth between Brock and Carleton. But what you're going to be looking at is the battle over towards P2, where Starry just takes down Zizz. It's a big setup now for this rotation, and Carleton winning out first is the initial time. And this is not the easiest one to break, especially with those anchor spawns in the back, and the Jackal really turning up for Starry already. He's on 3 in a row looking to push the issue.
And that's what you see is a lot of players holding that front container spot over there. It gives you perfect sight line down into the opposing spawn, though you can see a fight from Starry trying to get a 2K, and does, though last alive here, as point will still be held on the Carleton side. The one down, Wonderz will be taken out for his efforts.
So Carleton with a swing from P1 into P2, a team kill from Records, and we still haven't been able to uproot this team yet.
It's so
hard.
hard.
This hard point, and I think for Carleton, this is just exactly what you wanted to see after struggling into that P1 with a little bit of a contest battle. But I like this from Carleton, setting up for the late game. They're really putting a heavy priority over towards the rotations. You can see that 3 members pushing out over towards the outside bottom right of that mini-map. It doesn't work, but they want to take these players out of those back spawns for P4 later on. And for P3, breaking that's just going to come with time. So back to the start. Starry, he's been great for these breaks, and he's looking to do it again off that Hellstorm already from Aiylee. That is amazing from Carleton.
Yeah, especially because Carleton was trying to make that rotate through side street, being so aggressive coming onto this point. It failed, but they were able to make it work, take the rest of the point, and be able to rotate from the other side onto Main Street instead. So now we'll see them holding down the point. The Hellstorm just did so much, though we're going to be seeing some picks coming on. McBain will fall to Aiylee here.
Yeah, Kooltux in for the contention. Looking for the player over towards Burger, going to take him down. Starry just continuing to trade out for Carleton to hold on to this time, 92-36. He's still the back spawns for Brock, so this is where you can get a good setup in. Those ARs are going to be deadly towards the streets, and if Records here can just hold off these waves, it is going to be some easy time for Zizz to soak up.
Brock just trying to play the long game, especially with the ARs. They're going to find a pick on McBain, though. Kooltux will dive in and will be punished. The trade will come through. Chip looking for another pick. As the rotates start coming in for the next point. Now this one is a super interesting point to fight because you have 2 buildings to fight over, and everyone is covering the rotations from street, making sure no one is able to go in and out from the outside. Will be 1 pick coming in from Kooltux, taking out Chip and any player looking to aggress onto the hard point.
You can see Carleton again on heavy notice for this rotation. It's going to be a steady 60 there from the side of Brock, and you do get a rogue spawn from Aiylee, so not sure if you're going to be ready for this one at all.
Yeah, no.
Aiylee actually able to get the scrap time over towards Old for Carleton, but in turn, you see that Kooltux starting to work towards the break for P5. Set up inside of generators. Brock has flipped this map, and that is red alert for these Carleton players who now have to work back across and see if they can do exactly what Kooltux did and break back in.
But he has no trophy too, so he's going to be taken out. That kind of leaves things up for Carleton, who's going to be able to take the point once again. Brock going to have to wait on the respawn and just look for these early picks, trying to get an opening. Wonderz goes in, doesn't know where he's at, and will be taken out. Kooltux as well. Brock going to have to reset. And as Records slowly gets these picks, looking for Chip in the yellow crate here, which is always a tough head glitching spot. So Brock, they're going to dive in now, looking for one pick, going to be able to get two. Starry coming in, Records getting the two-piece for himself. Can't get the three-piece. Starry will clean up, keeping this point.
Wonderz has been great so far for Brock across the first set of rotations, 17 and 9. You saw Records over towards P3, did a great job with that Amy's at keeping those players at bay, but for Carleton, it's just been break attempt after break attempt, and that's what's keeping them in this marginal lead heading into the second set of rotations, 136 to 96, just about a 40-point lead for the side of Brock, and Carleton looking to, or sorry, for the side of Carleton, Brock looking to cut that down. But I did get a look at Aiylee. He has another Hellstorm for Carleton, just going on sprees for this team. So they have the tools to continue this break fest, but they had to get through Wonderz, who is 20 and 10 right now on the map.
Oh man, but Wonderz is doing such a good job at holding these points as well. And this is P1 where it can be argued it's more difficult to hold because there's so many points of entry that you have to worry about. Starry doing everything he can to survive. Going to be able to get two, potentially does. Wonderz, of course, the top frag will come in and punish. And with it, hold down the line for Brock.
So you see for Carleton again, P2 is where they got majority of their time, almost a full 60. Zizz is going to be in the back to see if he can maybe disrupt this, and he does take down McBain, so now looking to pull some attention away, see if you can maybe find another kill. Zizz not able to secure it onto Aiylee, so back spawns in for the moment of Carleton. It's the kills, though, that you need to get because Brock are hot on your tail, and Brock's going to be the first ones in. They've completely closed this lead that Carleton had from the first set of rotations, and now Brock swinging it into their favor. This is the Badgers starting to turn up in game one.
And this is a point that we did talk about briefly. It is very difficult to retake because of how many angles you do have to worry about, especially since your only point of attack is essentially on side street because it is so open. So Aiylee will come in, send text, just trying to get these picks down. Chip again, Carleton cleaning up quite nicely. It is contested. The picks will come through. Chip holding down the hallway. With it, I believe Carleton just are going to settle this one. Yeah, the rotates are going to come from Brock into the next point.
Hey, you remember over towards P3 back in the first set of rotations, Carleton put so much focus onto trying to flip these spawns that they lost a lot of that initial time towards Brock in this hard point. This time they're sending 3 players through Restaurant. They want to make sure that they can hold this hill from the front and, you know, take those long duels against Brock throughout those back spawns. And you have the presence right now. It's just the kills that are going to struggle with Brock being able to hit this time after time off those close spawns. They get through. Zizz dies outside the map, but not before taking out Chip. They're whittling down the presence from Carleton.
Carleton last time had the benefit of a Hellstorm to really clear things up from Brock. Don't have it this time, so it's going to be straight up gunfights all the way through. Kooltux will take down Starry. Aiylee will be able to get the trade. And I love this little pit here, just throwing out some of the concussions, and with it.
And, I mean, that is fantastic from Carleton to hold that almost entirety from the front of that hard point. Now looking for the kills towards the back spawns. Aiylee's going to slide through. Zizz didn't see it coming. 3 in a row. Aiylee, 21 and 14, has the Hellstorm as well and is ready to dethrone the rest of them. But Records holds his ground for Brock. A sigh of relief, and they get back into the hard point.
Brock can still hold steady with Wonderz on the line. 27 and 14 for him. Aiylee, though, both of the top frags starting to pop off as Carleton starts to approach from the outside, gets one pick. Aiylee going nuclear, looking for another potentially, but the back line will be able to clean things up.
Kooltux slides in, tests this out from the back door. It's a Jackal versus an Amos. We know who wins that. It's been Starry to break these hills. And again, Carleton just keeping this lead by around 30 points. Team Nate onto Wonderz, that's not going to help you whatsoever, but it seems like Brock are looking to maybe put this one away. One last attempt from player number 8, and it's Zizz to take down Starry, but Hill's not going to be dropped just yet as Brock need to take their focus away from P4, start setting up for P5, and see if they can close this gap once more.
Aiylee playing it patient. Brock holding down. And this is already an incredibly tight affair that although Carleton or Brock were able to swing it back in their favor, it is immediately swung the other way once Aiylee has shown up on the board. So Starry will try and approach the time. Actually just going to go dive in. That is one pick, but that is also a team kill from Carleton. That could be disastrous.
3-on-3 for the point. Starry teasing with the idea. Kooltux inside, big win, but traded. It's Starry and Chip that cost the rest of them. It's 4 down for Brock. Carleton breaks through the front and only 25 seconds away from taking map 1.
McBain needs to hold off, though. That will be a pick, and with it, hardpoint slowly whittling away. Carleton to maximize as much points as possible. The Kooltux with it, 1 pick, but will go down to McBain.
So it's a little bit of reprieve for the Brock Badgers. As you can see, the lock-in key for the 3rd set of rotations coming in suit. You're down nearly 30 points as it pops open. Brock not looking to make any mistakes in terms of the break, but you can take a look at McBain, taking the long route around, Jackal in hand. Can he be the catalyst to put it away?
Carleton was trying this side street push before and was punished before, but this time it looks like Brock does miss it, though it is incredibly hard in this point to have all angles covered. 2:40 on the clock. Carleton slowly, Brock having one last chance, one last possession to be able to make this work and to dive onto this point with only a few seconds left. Can Brock get the picks necessary? Aiylee going to be able to do it, and with it, Carleton will take map 1.
And what a game indeed from Carleton, behind the presence of those Jackals, just constantly putting together multi-kills inside the hills. It was Starry to kind of tee things up, but it's always Aiylee to go on those sprees. The follow-up was great. The presence inside the hill was maintained, and they were always holding about a 20 to 30 point lead across the first set of rotations and even towards the back half of the second set of rotations. So you see that Carleton just really showing up here on Rewind. It's their
Rocket League here. Either way, we're going to Search and Destroy on Rewind.
Leave it to you to pick up on that.
Dude, I just finished a term where we saw it every single game. So.
No, I got to give a little bit of respect over towards Conestoga with what they put on here for C3L. It has been very welcoming to these players and to the competition. But Kooltux getting things off at the first blood, Amos in hand, quickly traded by Aiylee over towards B. Bomb getting planted, no trophies in round number 1, so you got to be cautious for the stuns in this post-plant scenario, but the kills continue to flow for Brock. It's all red in the feed, 3 versus 1. Yeah, you could try to hop the bomb for a defuse, but no ninjas happening here.
Yeah, and that orange spot is so difficult to actually play around because having to clear it out, but also all of the other areas around the site, it's incredibly difficult, especially on side street where there's a lot of tight angles and a decent amount of head glitching spots where you really have a hard time clearing them all out, especially early on when you don't have too much utility to work with.
So big offensive win here on Rewind. Very much a curveball from Brock. You don't usually see a B hit in the first round, barring that there's no trophies for that post plant. But first blood from Kooltux, the follow up from the rest of them, getting that bomb planted so fast. It's not easy for Carleton to keep up with that pacing. And it looks like the first blood is just continuing to be dominated by the Badgers. So 3 down immediately inside of A. Bomb down as well. I'm not sure if Kooltux would have noticed that, but it's McBain in a 1 versus 3 this time to see if you can make some magic.
Kooltux playing that so aggro, and it's just Carleton. They're really not expecting it. And this is a Carleton team that was willing to push forward, willing to be aggro. That will be Brock taking round 2 off of, again, mentioned it before, but an AR outside, huge factor. That was a bad I don't know if you saw the nade from Wonderz, but he straight up threw it at the garbage and it flew behind him.
I'm surprised too, because you see the follow-up there from Kooltux inside with that Jackal in hand, and to be able to follow that up and actually win those fights over towards Books, that was being non-stop won back in the hardpoint by the Carleton Ravens. So to see Brock actually swing things around, it just seems like Carleton are not ready for these timings that Brock obviously have been polishing up on within this Rewind Search and Destroy. This is the map choice of Brock, so not a surprise, I'd say, to see them restabilize after a map 1 loss. But take a look at this. Full hit towards B again. You have player number 6, McBain, on a delayed pitch. Starry first blood. Kooltux gets the trade, but you're waiting for McBain to play this flank.
Carleton playing much more passive angles, especially on the B hit, knowing it's a full B hit. The records trying to chase down this pick. Gets 1. Maybe looking for the second. Gonna have to dive around. Sees A's clear. Play this, just taking apart these angles slowly but surely. 2v2 at the moment.
Well, bomb's down at B. And everybody's on red alert. Where is McBain? Where is
Exactly.
McBain? He was in our backline, and now he's just disappeared. He snuck all the way back around, and Aiylee's actually going to double up here in the 2-on-2. So bomb's been spotted. They know that Brock have to return to the site, and now they can just play some ratty corners and wait for Brock to reveal themselves.
They're diving in. They're diving in now. Going to be able to pick up the bomb. Going to go for the plant, but they don't see orange. They don't see orange. It's going to be coming through. Aiylee sees it. They're going to have to stop the plant. And at this point, Brock has to play for picks. They're going to try and get one, but will be taken down. Carleton collect their first round.
Yeah, they get on the board, and it doesn't take too long. You lose the first two, but you still keep things in a close one-round gap right now if you are the Ravens. So big wins from McBain on the flank there, and to be able to just disappear into the shadows and create that disconnect within the idea of Brock for their B follow-up. It delays so much time. It allows for Aiylee to return and double up alongside him over towards 18. And I think for Carleton, I don't want to say McBain gets away with murder right there, but he kind of did.
Yeah, a little bit. It just was a very incredibly tight affair. Wonderz, I don't know if he saw whoever was outside. That's going to be a pick. Wonderz going to be able to collect one. Will be traded. 2v2. Zizz able to come out on top. Sorry. You know, Zizz gym stuff. You know, everyone knows Zizz. The Zizz, you know, we go gym. Anyway, point being, this is essentially done and dusted. 3v1 as all of Brock are looking for McBain.
Shot in the back, 13 health. Hunt is on, and everybody just chasing him through L. McBain doesn't know what's about to hit him. And Brock back into the 2-round gap, just like that. A fast defensive round. And again, they're just dominating inside of the first bloods towards that A bomb site. I mean, it's very typical for teams to go for the quick hit into A, especially after the way that Carleton was playing in towards hardpoint. You kind of saw it coming, and I think Brock just have the right read on it. Just play a little bit passive, wait for these players to try to hit that timing and catch them in the irons. Wonderz for the first blood. You had Zizz right next to him, and the follow-up between them, the trade battle comes out for a 2-for-1. Yep. And, you know, Brock just playing the numbers after that. Kooltux making sure that you're hitting those long routes to get him behind and collect that third player. Carleton are kind of eating out of the hand of the Brock Badgers, or paws, I guess you could say. But 2-round gap again for Brock. Carleton needs defense. You don't want to let this get out of hand just yet. And Chip was finding two. Starry's there for the follow-up, and Starry over the top, just shutting them down.
Yes, solo. Beautiful from Starry, and that is exactly what Brock needed. It really feels like Carleton, hands up in the air, don't know what to do, because it's not as if their positioning is too bad. Starry, good job, but even then, at this point, they're putting themselves in decent positions. They're just losing the fight.
That was just a beautiful... that was beautiful tech to isolate all three of those players. It's the movement there. You don't see that in any other game other than one with omni movement.
Omnidirectional movement.
And I think for Starry, I mean, the only thing that might be able to compare to is how beautiful the Starry Night is. And he might be right alongside that right now. Shout out to Starry for that play, but Chip finally winning the battle towards A. First blood to Carleton. The issue is, you look towards Kooltux, on the outside of Restaurant, now looking to catch a flank, but into the back, McBain watching for this. He's going to tag him up, get that information, and now the call is on to hunt this player. Now 2 down for Brock for the retake and a 2v4.
You can see Brock, they're playing past on the A side the moment they lost it. They were playing for the retake, but that is one pick that is disgusting. Records still waiting for any Warrant players. So you can see Kooltux.
And you win the fights with the arrows on the outside, but now you have to take the battles inside. The stun's up. Records another one. 4v2. Now brought down to a 1v2. Records going to hop the defuse. 15 seconds left. Wonderz looking over top of him just to watch to make sure that you can't shut down this defuse. And it comes through. The defuse is stuck. And you're not there to watch for it. Brock hopping on for a 2v4 clutch to give them another 2-round gap.
And we were saying they weren't playing the passive angles, but they were isolating the lanes, they were isolating the picks. Carleton put too much outwards, wasn't focusing on just surrounding the site. more willing to try and hunt down. They already thought that round was done and dusted, but Brock showed them why it wasn't.
I mean, just big ups for Brock there. The confidence between Wonderz and Records to make that happen. These two have been teaming together for a long time, so you know that the camaraderie is there. Kooltux, first blood. Shut down, though, is the advantage. McBain's going to trade it up, but it's still a back and forth. 2 versus 3 now. Carleton going to have to recreate what Wonderz and Records just did to them.
Aiylee was trying to go for the street flank, though, and was punished. I think that's really going to make Carleton hurt in the long run. That's going to be a 1v3 now. As the pick comes through, bomb down. This is done and dusted. Brock will be moving to 5.
This is one thing we always highlighted with Brock as a team in Call of Duty is that, yes, you know, the hard points, the controls, always just a toss-up. They always take some time to get used to those respawns, but the S&Ds from the Brock Badgers have always been on point. These players know how to get it done, and you can just see how composed they are on understanding the timings, the setups, where you need to be, where the setup or where the ARs are going to be watching for those initial gunfights, and they are ripping through the Carleton Ravens. Wonderz is 7-3 for Christ's sakes. He just had an incredible map number 1, and he is not stopping anytime soon.
Oh, Carleton will be on the offense here. Oh, the AR falls. Records can't be the one to fall, but that is an AR battle that's gone Carleton's way, though it will be traded. Bomb will be dropped, though. You can see Brock collecting slowly but surely. We are down to a 2v2.
Starry's got away. Aiylee's alongside him, but Wonderz catches that. Aiylee now for the map. A 1v2 clutch to keep you alive here in Rewind, but Wonderz takes the duel at range. The Amy succeeds, and Brock take the second map, equalizing the series one apiece.
And what a stark contrast from the first map, where it really felt like Carleton had so much confidence on the hard points, but for this one, every single pick, every single angle onto the point was taken with the utmost confidence in their ability. I mean, the amount of times I think I saw a fight just straight up won, whether it's a 1v1 or 2v2 in CDs, was just insane from Brock. Tux controls outside from top here. Just expecting any push, but not going to see it.
This is tough because you're in spawn trap territory for Carleton. You got to work out. You got Kooltux in your top balcony. Zizz working towards the other building with a jackal, but A's already been secured. 2 minutes to capture B now. With how much success Brock has been finding in the slaying so far in this vault control, you're a little bit worried for the Ravens here. They need to find a moment of reprieve, take some progression back onto the map, and get these ARs set up, but they're just not allowed to. Zizz is breathing down their necks with this jackal.
Yeah, being the anchor for the site has been so important for Zizz. He's really had the movement to be able to control that interior territory. Though as A is gone, and the focus is put towards B. And thankfully all the cars are blown up, so you don't have to worry about anything too weird. Aiylee going to be able to collect 1. Kooltux going to play it low. That will be a nade coming through for Chip.
Yeah, and this is where you want to see Carleton slow things down, see if you can find these picks, which they're doing kind of perfectly, just checking off this shopping spree so far. And you normally want to have somebody with a jackal inside of over towards that A area, somebody with an Amy's over towards the planters and the top side of your mini-map, and then your second AR going to be sitting in that building balcony to make sure that there's no flanks through mid in case that SMG player is gone. But Aiylee's going to hit a flank of their own. Record's going to be shot in the back. It's continuous kills from Carleton to slow the roll over towards this B control. 52 seconds left. Lives about even. And Brock, where they came out a really hot start so far, the flame has been doused.
Yeah, though the lives are pretty similar with time slowly draining away. Carleton playing it slow again, just holding angles, is getting a 2-piece somewhere. Going to be able to collect it. I think it was on the interior to try and stop the flanking routes. The respawns will come through. Zizz will be taken out, so that reestablishes some coverage, though. We have 2 Brock members, 3 Brock members coming in from outside. Wonderz trying to hold down the line to prevent any sort of flanks, and with it, Zizz going to come onto site just in the nick of time.
Well, they stopped the clock. 17.5 seconds. 7 playing 7,
so
but they just haven't been able to set up with the whole team. You just continually fight 2v4s or 3v4s, and Carleton always good for those first kills. The life disparity now 6v4. No more respawns for Brock. 6 seconds left. They're throwing whatever they got here, but Carleton's still not out of the woods. You need a big play, and Starry's going to make it happen. Double kill, leaves it into a 2v4. Now a 1v4. Aiylee shutting down Wonderz, really setting up Carleton for a defensive round win. Time is going to halt, and Carleton giving up what seemed like 4 ticks of progression in the first round of Control.
Yeah, a little bit close, but especially on that B point, it really came down to that garden top position with that essentially overarching point. You get so much of a vantage point and coverage on that B site, and especially on B, where you really do not have a lot of coverage from any sort of angles. It's very blank, it's very sparse. You're kind of poking in and out of the point each time. So with it, Carleton will collect the first point here on Control. We switch sides. Brock, I only hope they throw in a better defense.
Not an easy map to get those offensive wins, so you can't fault Brock there, but to take A in the fashion that they did, Carleton hoping to recreate that for themselves. You need that take progression, especially towards the later ends of this Control, but Brock come out fast. Zizz is going to hit them with a sideline. Double kill as well. Takes the pressure off of A. McBain going to get traded out. Of course, it's Zizz again. 3 in a row looking for more. They line up, but Aiylee shuts him down. And out to A we go. Time stopped at a minute 10. Some progression that Carleton needs.
Good fight on the A side. I would have liked to see Carleton just have a bit more cat control because there's so much coverage onto A side. 2-piece will come on. And with it, a 2v1, but it will be traded out. Starry will stop this push right at its head.
One more fight here. Over the top. Wonderz dives in with the pistol. I love it. I love it. Yep. I think Black Ops 6 is just going to be a joy to watch every single time I see somebody dive sideways from the top shelf. But Zizz not going to be able to hit that flank. Starry, good heads-up play to cut off that overextension. You still haven't taken the pressure off of A just yet. A member is here. It's player number 2. Kooltux, you have to deal with. Slides out. Starry with the Jackal, taking Kooltux down and working on the second tick of progression. You get it locked in. You've just been able to get so much work done so far onto not just A, but B as well. And it's going to distract Brock to maybe put this one away.
The AR is taking care of outside as well, making sure B is covered okay. This Control on A. Will be stopped. Kooltux stopping it in his tracks. Respawns will come through. Careful of the pick, though. Kooltux goes aside. Records will be able to take out one. Chip will take out Kooltux in turn. A site still covered as the respawns come.
And you notice that Brock aren't really putting a big focus onto neutralizing it right away. They want to set up that line of scrimmage and kind of push the issue into the face of Carleton. And it's bled the clock down to now 24 seconds. So Carleton, they kind of ditched the idea of B, have to go all in at A, but they don't have any security towards the outskirts of these points. Aiylee has some cover towards McBain, but can they hold off the oncoming pressure from Kooltux and Records? They cannot. 19 seconds, 4 go down, 8 lives left for Carleton, and they only get 2 ticks of progression so far. You need one last effort to this A zone.
It's so close. It's within reach for the last 10 seconds. Carleton needs to make a dive, needs to get this pick on Cat, but not going to be able to. Zizz will cover it from outside. Last 3 seconds coming in. It is done for this one. Brock will collect the point.
Yeah, it ties us up here in the Control and in a lot more of a clean fashion than what Carleton was able to do on their defense. So in terms of expecting a round 5 in Control, which we see a lot so far inside of Black Ops 6, Brock in a lead so far in terms of that progression, 4-2. Hoping to continue that
too,
for
right?
the rest of it. And I think for Carleton heading into this next defense, you almost need to make sure that Brock does not fully capture either one of these 2 zones. And with how easily Brock got that A zone, it's going to be a tough task.
Yeah, like the defense on A site, when you look at the contrast from offense to defense, just Brock knew exactly where to be positioned. The oversight through Cat. Have the movement on the wide angles on A site, so the picks will come in. Kooltux diving in. Starry able to collect one as Carleton will disengage just a little bit.
Far pushed up Chip is already into the spawn of Brock. He's just going to be lessening the numbers and the pressure that you have to deal with over towards this A site, allowing Starry and Aiylee just to clean up the members of Brock with these Jackals, but as they get aggressive, they go 3 down. So now Starry, the furthest one pushed up. Can you stop some of this pressure at A? And he finds the first one, slides out Starry for 2, 5 in a row. As your SMGs are heating up here for Carleton. 46 seconds left, and Starry looking for this Hellstorm.
Starry taking the off angle, but also aggressive peek onto the Brock side. That's sort of the confidence you need to be able to have. Tries again, but a bridge too far.
It's another 4 down.
Yeah, it's a little bit, so that will get Brock onto the site. We'll be able to take away 3 respawns in for Carleton. They're going to be able to dive in. This is a bad approach as well, as the cat push will come through. Onto site now is Kooltux.
Oh!
That is a pick for Kooltux on Aiylee. Terrible affair here for Carleton.
There had to be some team shots there from Brock as they're double stacking or almost triple stacking on towards this A zone. It's going fast. Second tick already locked in, working on number 3. You're going to take some different angles if you're Carleton to try to retake this one from the flank. Wonderz turned around. McBain's going to find that kill. Starry doubles up, and there's only one more player to deal with. Records continuing to hold off this time bank. 24.8 seconds. Starry's here to maybe take the rest down, but Zizz for the trade. They're in for the 8 points secured. 15 playing 13 in favor of Carleton. But a big capture there from Brock to continue this progression lead.
And I feel bad for Starry because you could tell like he was really trying. He was essentially the only one left of his team alive. Brock already had the flank onto Starry at that point locked in. So unfortunately, Carleton will have to try, but they're going to take this high angle. Actually, Brock is going to take this high angle. If they can hold this angle, it'll be a breeze to collect B.
This is where you normally expect your Amos player to retake from, stem that, but where do you start? Player number 6 trying to get some eyes on when it goes all the way underneath the vault, but McBain's not able to find any kills. First segment in at B, second one almost there. Woo! You have Zizz inside your spawn and Kooltux shooting bodies. This is game 3 of the C3L. Nobody's stopping Kooltux so far. And it is just non-sub success in the offense from Brock. They capture both zones and an offensive win, setting them up for a potential map 3 victory.
Shooting bodies. It's the first match of the day, guys. It's groups. We're getting spicy. And Chip, this is where we saw that top angle come in for Carleton. It was so important. You could see, especially with the AR, how much the Amos has an effect through this angle. It has a complete view of that B site. Unfortunately, Carleton couldn't put it to work here. So Brock will collect 2-1.
Even if Carleton wins this offense, they still have to win a second offense. There's no chance in the world, objectively speaking, they don't have the ability to get enough ticks to actually give them a shot for that round 5 defense. So Carleton now have to go back-to-back for offenses just to steal away this map number 3. And Brock have already shown that it's not an easy task to have to get done.
This is on a 5-3.
He's shut down though, so he's not able to come out for anything. We haven't seen a Hellstorm since Aiylee back in that map number 1, but Starry's been good. Not good enough against Records in that moment, but you have an overextension from Aiylee to stop the clock over towards this B zone. Maybe get a tick of progression as well behind it. Tick doesn't come through. Contestion's helping the kill. What? Secures it. Had to be some help from the team, but you're on to A as well. Just trying to get some semblance of control for this map. First segment in at A as well. Kooltux looking for the flank through balcony.
Yeah, Carleton shifting focus over to A site now that B site has a tick on it. This will be a fight on Cat. That will be in Aiylee's favor. Now Records taking it wide will be taken out. So you can see Carleton, they're taking a combined approach on A and B to split the focus right now of Brock. But this is all going in Carleton's favor.
It is. They have that second tick at A. Kooltux now going to have to cut fast through mid to see if you can pinch out these members onto this control zone, but Kooltux falls. Starry, almost a double kill. Wonderz has to peel away, and with the third tick at A secured, another minute onto the clock, a 2-life advantage for Carleton, and already with 1 segment secured at this B zone as well. So if Carleton could get a clean 4 down, they set themselves up for a realistic chance at an offensive win.
Wonderz holding down B. The AR. 2 Carleton players, 3 actually perched up. That will be a pick on 1. Now everyone is collecting. Chip trying to take the wide angle, looking for some attack on the spawns, or at least taking down some Brock players in the cross. As the respawns are going to come through, Chip is completely isolated right now. Zizz is going to get a flank of his own, but he'll be taken down by McBain.
And McBain has been fantastic so far as one of the ARs for Carleton, 25 and 24. Starry, 29 and 25. The two of them just leading in terms of Carleton slaying. But on the other side, it's just getting past Wonderz, 30 and 18 with this Amos. That is ridiculous to be seen. And it's not just in this control either. This has been Wonderz across all 3 maps so far. So he's not going to be stopping anytime soon as McBain gotta catch the number of that train that just hit you. Because Wonderz just is running amok so far.
Man is an AR demon right now. Just as I say that, caster curse galore. Chip going to be able to get some penetration on Wonderz. This will be Carleton on site, continuously getting picks. I think Brock, even with the spawns, playing a little bit too aggressive. They're going to keep going. Brock going to dive in, going to be able to collect 2, 3 records. The hero for Brock, keeping Brock in for this fight. It's the last 30 seconds. You'll get one more push from Carleton.
And we're in Canada right now, and I feel like a referee at the goal line just no goal.
No goal.
They had the triple stack. They almost put away the B zone, stealing away that capture, but the control goes towards Brock. They take the 3rd map, and in a swing that goes back-to-back to give them a lead in this series. It was close towards this last offense, but really setting themselves up for success, being that first defense that they did play against Carleton, only holding them to those 2 ticks of progression, really setting up Brock for the long run. Even if that did go to a round 5, you have another shot. I just put that together.
There's a soccer arena in the map. Okay, hey, whatever. We're underway. We're on map 4. We're on hard point red card. Not my favorite map. I think not a lot of players' currently favorite map, but it was an interesting pick that I think came through for Brock, actually. They did pick this, of course, Wonderz being the key factor, already opening things up with the AR kill.
Yeah, you shut this down, win things out in 4 maps. You go to a map 5 and potentially a Neslo in the cards for Brock right now. Carleton, on the other side, they were fantastic back in that rewind, just dominating the rotation. Starry was always the forefront of these breaks, but you look at that kill feed light up red. Brock so far has had no problem bouncing back in terms of slaying. They're going to hop in towards this P1, start to put some time on the board, but so far really setting them up for a smooth transition over towards P2, where you see player number 7 just spawn up.
Yeah, we were talking about it briefly, but so much of this P1 right now is based off that outside control, since there's so many points of access. But Wonderz going off. Chip will finally be able to collect. Not enough to take the point, as Zizz will be able to collect. Respawns coming through. Carleton having a bit of a response at the moment. At this point, it's just trading as everyone moves to P2.
Starry's getting over the top. Zizz cleaned up. Low HP Zizz. And there's the break for Carleton, flipping the spawns out. Now Brock have to break from the opposite ends. And so far, so good. Wonderz is going to find his way in, but how do you feel with the rest? Topside control for Carleton. They're going to look to take this from multiple different angles, but Zizz puts together 2. The 3rd one around the corner. Records cleans it up, and Brock hold on strong, now switching the lead in their favor.
Wonderz taking the passive angle as least far back as possible to make as much use of the AR range. Chip finally able to get on. Carleton will be able to secure the point for themselves. Kooltux will be able to take care of Aiylee, but everyone is moving over to the next point. P3, such a contested point that is incredible. I wouldn't say easier to hold, but you do have fewer points of access for sure.
You do, and you really look towards, again, holding on to that left side of the hill towards the outside to make sure most of those spawns cannot take those different angles. But so far, Brock just have had no issue with dominating in terms of the kills. They flip the spawns out, so Carleton have to be careful. This is potentially a spawn trap on red card, and I'm pretty sure that you're going to know that if you're Carleton. McBain's going to take the elevator going up and see if you can hit this from 2 different sides. But again, another set of kills for Brock. The Badgers just in full form right now on red card.
Fighting on stairs, which is such a key point as well. Chokehold, if you will. And now look at these spawns coming in from Carleton. They have to go so far just to even contest there. Just give it up. They're just giving it up, already securing
to.
on P5. At that point, Kooltux, and so few kills at this point for P2 in particular, securing this point as P5. You need to secure it. It's impossible to access.
And Aiylee and McBain just confirm it for you. I mean, you are stuck right now, just continuously spawning in behind P3. Now you're going to have a chance because you've had a player rotate all the way around, but Brock are inside the hard point. You can hold this one from the bottom of the stage, so very safe hardpoint hold for Wreckers to soak up this time. Zizz on the flank. He's going to find not one, not two, but 3 kills with a Jackal. 10 and 5 from Zizz, putting this SMG to work here in map 4.
We knew Zizz, even on Vault, he was going for these long route flanks, but Red Card loves to reward that. Those who take the journey and pays off. Zizz with a 3-piece of his own, securing this point.
102 to 36. Carleton have found no success so far on Red Card. The rotations have been late. The kills have been lackluster. And I think that Brock, ever since they've roared back in with a 6-2 victory on that rewind search and destroy, they have not looked back since. This team looks deadly right now.
Yeah, remember that this is match point. Carleton finally being able to secure a point of their own on P5, which they were previously baited with. That is a kill. That is a complete 3-piece from Brock here on a point that is so incredibly difficult to defend at times. But Carleton coming in, respawns coming through. Brock, grenades, that's going to be a pick as well for Records. The ARs, you have to fight for these long angles on P5. You get rewarded for it. No one even on the point right now. That's how difficult this point is.
Wonderz is going to be holding it close, laying down. Nobody watching through ticket, and that's going to give Aiylee an angle to shut down this time for Brock. In over the top, Starry clears him out, but the trades again for Brock, just keeping this one uncontested. 127 to 45 as P4 finishes off. P1 starting to open up. We're heading into the second set of rotations, and Carleton have a mountain to climb right now. And you look towards, somebody that I called out at the start, McBain, who has to go toe-to-toe with players like Wonderz and Records, and he is 6 and 13 right now. Heading into the second set, McBain needs to turn things around for this Carleton team.
Yeah, Zizz with an uncharacteristic mistake, and at this point, P5, the fact that it was so uncontested kind of goes into Brock's favor. It whittles the time down just a touch more. Fight's going to be going on for control of outside as Carleton slowly ticking away at this lead. That's a great pick from Kooltux.
Half the setup right now from Carleton to get a lot of time here from P1. They're actually getting 20 to 30 seconds on this hill, and so far, that is exactly what you like to see from this team, playing from a deficit that they are. They're going to hop back in for the rest of the scrap time. Aiylee's starting to work towards the stage to see if he can open up a route to P2, but he's shut down by Wonderz. Kooltux finding the scrap towards P1 as well, and Carleton now having to work again through the middle of the map to see if they can get some pressure here onto the next rotation.
Carleton still keeping this within reach. Starry needs to go off, checking the angles, going to be able to collect one. Another one behind the hot dog stand. Starry will collect another, and that will be Carleton on point. But another pick needs to come through. McBain finally does. Able to secure the point for Carleton, keeps things within reach.
From 5 and 13 to 11 and 15, McBain definitely looking a lot better in the second set than in the first, but not enough to hold off Brock just yet. A teammate from Wreckers that's going to give a breath of life back in towards the Ravens to take one last swing at it. Starry's going to catch Wonderz, not ready for that last hit from Carleton. Some scrap time here for Starry. They've closed this lead from what was 125 to about 30 for Brock's favor, now to 147 to 105. This rotation over towards P3, if Carleton can get a clean break and flip this one out, this can be a tie game come the end of this hill.
So they're going to try and rotate through inside at the moment. Carleton even getting that scrap time. Will be taken out on the rotate again. Carleton just getting a brief misread on the respawns, and now the respawns have flipped. So Carleton will be able to approach from a closer angle onto this point in particular, though everyone's still fighting for stairs, and they will be able to get on.
So now it's holding it. It's the difficult part when you don't have all 4 members into that setup. Zizz finds a way through, penetrates the armor of Carleton. He's going to get traded out, but you're already back into this one if you're the Badgers, holding this one from the front, trying to find the kills to follow things up. Aiylee for 2. Starry a third one, backs up Brock, and they've completely brought Brock out of this initial setup towards P3, flipped things out yet again, and now Brock in danger of getting spawn trapped towards the back of this hill.
Yeah, that is where essentially this hill becomes done and dusted, but Aiylee holding the angle on stairs through the doorways, being able to essentially secure those lines of sight, and with it this point, so Brock, they're going to have to try again. On to the next one. Still holding a relatively comfortable lead, but Carleton, they're nipping at their heels.
Yeah, for Carleton, I mean, you not only need like one good break, but you need 40 seconds behind that, and the kills have been the issue. Just trades after trades for Brock, giving them that edge in confidence. Starry's going to be able to look to get in, slides forward some time here, but you need some pressure from the top sides, and these ARs just haven't been able to get it. Zizz constantly catching them and shooting them in the back. He finds the players outside. Starry trying to hold on to the rest of this time, but it's 3 down again for Carleton. Brock hop in, and this lead just continues to stay comfortable.
I will say that particularly on this point as well, you see the respawns. They tend to come a little bit further, which means that you have more of a journey to go. Zizz, yeah, I think even though ARs, I wouldn't say that they've been the be-all, end-all for this game. Zizz has been able to mitigate it as much as possible through his flanks with the Jackal. It's been so much pressure here against Carleton, especially on the rotates.
A couple angles here for Brock to take, and the kills open up this route through Ticket. Kooltux finds an angle onto Chip, and that's 3 down. Sight, the hill opens up. 4th one's going to allow Wonderz now to slide in for the rest of this time. 207, they're in counting distance to putting this series away. And Carleton needs to step up sooner or later, or they're going to be starting their groups off with a loss against the Brock Badgers. This is it for the Ravens. You need to pull out all the stops here rather than later.
Carleton starting to get some entry picks, but might start rotating over. So Record's going to try and just as much time on it as possible. Wonderz still preventing Carleton from getting anything on the board, as we will transition to P1. Carleton, I think, have had a much better record, at least getting picks onto P1 relative to P5, especially as Wonderz just keeps going off here on P5.
And you remember that, you know, P1 rotation into the second set of rotations is what gave Carleton, what, a 40-point difference for that P2 rotation. So hoping to maybe do that again now with McBain putting a couple kills together. He's going to be traded out. Kooltux from up top. Nice shots from Chip. 3 go down for Brock, and Carleton looking to find themselves into this hard point, but it's not going to be easy off the respawn. Brock just setting themselves back up onto these power positions and trading out these kills. 7 seconds left. The closest is going to be Chip for one last chance. Slides in. Can he stay alive? Starry now following him up, but the spawns are so far away for Carleton.
And at this point, you need to get someone on the last couple seconds. That will be contested. 1 on. The pistol kill won't come through. McBain will get taken out. The last one will come through. Carleton diving in. Everything on the line, but it will be done. Brock will win our first series of the day.
And it's a very solid series from the Badgers, to say the least. Yes, a hiccup in map number 1 going to that rewinds. It seemed like, you know, it's early in the morning. It takes a little bit for you to wake up the wheel, but as soon as they got going, it didn't seem like Carleton could really stop what they had to offer. Zizz really stepping in for this red card in hitting so many different angles, making sure those ARs just could not feel comfortable.
Couldn't get on the board.
In those